Alright, hey eavesdroppers. Hope everybody's doing good today. This is going to be the second part of the spiritual anatomy. I know I said I would do it last night, but I started looking and goofing around with my phone, and I got sidetracked, and then I just didn't do it. So I'm doing it now. But anyways, once again, for everybody listening, I appreciate you listening. Please like, subscribe, and share the videos to push the content out into the algorithm for me. So that, you know, some of you, maybe you didn't want the message, but somebody might want it. So, oh, well, I think just fell. I'm trying to give you all a backdrop weirdness, but okay, so there it is. All right, so we were talking about chakras and what they were, and I believe I explained to those in the last video, but in case you didn't watch it, I'll explain it real quick again what chakras are. So in your body, from your head to your spine, there are 7 points of energetic hubs. And these are called chakras. And there's actually 114 chakras in the body, but the main ones that are worked with are these 7 main chakras. So when you hear about Reiki healing and Reiki massagers, those are people that know how to move the energy in your chakras. They will clear your chakras, and because when your chakras are all balanced and in alignment, that enables the life force energy to flow freely through you and without problems and stuff. And that's really where you want to keep your chakras in a state of balance at all times. And so we're going to go over the chakras real quick. I'll say real quick, but I don't know how long this video is going to be. But so the first chakra actually starts at the bottom of the tier, and that's going to be the root chakra. And this chakra is located at the base of your spine. It is associated with the color red. It functions when it's imbalanced. When it's balanced, it represents the stability, the grounding of a person, of your energies, and it also supports your survival needs, like the feeling, the shelter, safety, and security. When it's balanced, you should feel grounded, and you should have feelings of safe and confident to be able to take on the daily challenges. When it's blocked, these problems can manifest in your physical self and your emotional and your mental self, and that would be like, so when you have a blocked root chakra, you might experience chronic anxiety. You worry about money. You have lower back or leg pain. Your digestion will be off. You'll have a constant feeling of not being safe, and that everything is chaotic, and you might have chaotic energies around you, and you'll feel really ungrounded. All right, and so the way that you can fix this is you can either go see a Reiki healer, which that usually costs a little bit of money, or I wasn't really going to get into much about the chakras, because chakras are something I've always known about them, but I haven't always really delved into them until recently, and I'll explain that when I'm done with this root chakra. I'll explain really why that I was kind of motioned to get into the chakras. So for the root chakra, if you have a blocked or an unbalanced root chakra, one of the best ways, or some of the ways to be able to clear the blockages and stuff, would be one of the earth grounding, which you're going to that just entails just walking barefoot on the grass, or standing in soil or sand or salt. Salt's really good. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to. And this helps you ground out your energy, and it also helps you connect with the earth's energy, which is, of course, it goes all the way back to the spirit, but it helps you kind of connect and ground your energy out, and it'll kind of align it. Another way you can use to balance all chakras is by using pure tone frequencies. Okay, I like to get on YouTube, and I'll pull up pure tone frequencies. So if you're going to be interested in doing frequencies, I might cover something on that too. But the pure tone frequency that you want to use to help balance out and realign your root chakra is going to be the pure tone frequency of 194.18 hertz or 256 hertz. When you're using these pure tone frequencies, that's called sound therapy. And if you can get into a nice calm space, and get it on your what is it called, your entertainment, or what's it called, your movie system, theater system, whatever, so you have like surround sound. That's a sound bath, when you can surround the sound all the way around you. All right, and so another thing you can do to help balance out your root chakra is to consume root vegetables like carrots, potatoes, beets, you know, whatever that entails. And one of my personal things that I like to do, even though I wasn't really using them for chakras, but I knew that they were good for that, are crystals. And so you can carry around grounding stones like red jasper, tourmaline, smoky quartz. Those are all really good for helping balance out your root chakra. And so here, and I guess I could show you the little notes in case you might want to, you know, remember that. So that right there is how you're going to balance out your root chakra. All right, so real quick before we get to the next chakra, the reason that chakras have all this, you know, because like I said, I've always known about chakras, but I never really studied into them or delved into the concept of them too much. And that changed for me actually recently. You know, I've mentioned before in some of the other videos, like an experience I had back in late December, January, where I had actually flatlined on a surgery table, and I had died. Now, I didn't know that had happened until after I got home from the hospital, you know, and then, but upon reflecting back, you know, I reached back in through the experience of after knowing that happened, and it was a very profound thing happened, you know. But I did notice that when I woke up that day in the hospital, that my spine tingled. Like I had this crazy, like it was just really, I just felt very charged, like my spine did. And I really couldn't, you know, I didn't complain about it because I was just kind of like, well, it's just part of the deal. But then other kind of weird things started happening that, you know, had happened before accidentally, you know, and I don't really put anybody on like weird blast or anything, but like my person, the one I just separated from, we kind of like had always sort of had like a weird like telepathic random thing going on. But after this, like I noticed that it was a little bit more on point, I guess. Like, you know, it was like we were telepathically, like it was just really weird things, like, you know, like he would be coming in the door from work or whatever, but I would think, I'd be like, man, I hope he brings the ice cream in here from the freezer. And it, seriously, like it would just be something weird like that. And then he would walk in with the ice cream, you know, like weird things like that. And I'm just, you know, and so unfortunately we never really got to hone in on that whole thing, but I thought it was pretty cool. And so anyways, upon researching on chakras, I ran across another term that I had been you know, seeing here and there, and that was a kundalini, and I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, a kundalini awakening. All right, and so I kind of started looking into this, and I'll kind of go over real quick what it is. It really entails a lot more than what I'm going to tell you, so I might do a thing on it or not. I don't know, but the Kundalini awakening is what that is like it is a spiritual release, like an energetic release that, and I think it's like Hindu, it may be Hindu that really practices this. But what the Kundalini is, they describe it as a coiled serpent, like a snake, that is coiled at the base of your spine. It rests in your root chakra. And so whenever you have one of these Kundalini awakenings, it is basically like a powerful release of that energy, and it shoots from your spine all the way up to the top of your head, all through all 7 chakras. And it's very powerful, and it can trigger a lot of different things. And at the time it happened, I really didn't know all of this yet. You know, this is the stuff I've just recently figured out. But it's really crazy how this happens. Like, it's got to be triggered, and you can trigger it either intentionally. You can do it through yoga or breath work. You know, there's other techniques. But one of the things that is very commonly a trigger of a Kundalini awakening is a near-death experience. And I absolutely didn't have one. And so, you know, upon realizing that, I was like, wow, you know, I really need to embrace this. So that's when I kind of started picking up meditation, and I don't know about yoga because my hips are messed up, but one day maybe yoga. And breath work and stuff, and I'm really going to start trying to work more with these chakras as energy centers, you know, because I feel like if I can align, you know, keep them really supercharged, then I'll be able to supercharge stuff out into the energetic circuit for everybody else. And so, but anyways, that was kind of interesting. I thought I'd share that with y'all. And you can absolutely have a Kundalini awakening through traumatic things. They're accidental. The accidental ones, I think, are probably the ones that probably happen the most, but they're also the hardest to deal with, because like if you have a Kundalini awakening and all of your chakras are unbalanced, dude, it can create all kinds of things, like and I'll go into that later, but it really will kind of mess you up a little bit and have you kind of flaking out and thinking you're crazy and questioning the whole world and yourself and everything inside and out. But anyways, but that's what really got me kind of started on studying the chakras a little bit more. So I just want to share the information with y'all. And it's funny, when I was writing all this stuff down, and I'm kind of going over the information, it's like, it really made me think about my person that I separated with recently. And just about every single thing that it listed, as far as having that particular chakra blocked or out of balance, like, I recognized those things in him, and I'm just like, man, it sucks that I didn't do this, faster, because maybe I could have helped him, get his chakras a little bit, lined up, and I looked up what in the world would have caused you to have every single, all your chakras so unbalanced like that, and one of the things was a traumatic experience, sudden loss, and which he absolutely did experience. 13 years ago, kind of had one of those had part of his soul ripped out of him. And yeah, that absolutely would, and I know he still hasn't healed from that, and so that absolutely would throw all of your chakras out of balance, so maybe he'll hear this and he'll look into it, because I really think having these things aligned, physically with, energetically in the physical world will most definitely help you, with your energy in the spiritual realm, and help you reach that vibration so that you can hit the 5D and do all the cool things and know all the things that I've learned and experienced, like, connecting to source and, I've also recently kind of started channeling but anyways, we're going to go back to chakras. All right. So the second chakra is the sacral chakra. All right. Now this chakra is located in the lower abdomen, around the belly button area, and it's kind of like in front of for all you guys out there that know what the bone anatomy is, the sacrum, which is like your pelvic bone, it is like centered around that area. So it kind of it functions, it's right in that area. So, and its color is orange, and its functions, they regulate emotions, creativity, the sexual energies, and your mental desires is kind of what is in charge of. And so when it's balanced, you should feel vibrant, like full of life and passionate and really in touch with your feelings and emotions. And you should have, when it's balanced, you should have no problem with the flow of creativity. An unbalanced sacral chakra, symptoms of that would be low libido, lack of creativity. It's something that I call emotional constipation, which is like you can't get your emotions out. Feelings of isolation. It also, like, physically, it can cause you to have, like, UTIs. It'll cause you to lose your taste. And it also creates a feeling of you want to detach from social settings, give you wild mood swings, tension in your lower back, fear of change, and it will also keep you from climaxing during bedroom stuff. So that's your sacral chakra. Now I'm blocking it. All right, so the things that I found for that, and I'll show you on the thing, I hope you can read it, is to drink lots of water, use sound therapy, pure tones of 288 hertz and 417 hertz. You can do those as binaural beats, and carry carnelian and tiger's eye and moonstones are all good crystals to carry for an unbalanced sacral chakra. Now, on this unbalancing things, guys, it's also like you can, there's other stuff you can do. I just didn't write it down because I don't do those things. I know that sounds kind of like, weird gatekeeping or something, but it's like yoga. I don't do yoga. Maybe one day I will, but if you're into yoga, you can definitely look up to see what yoga movements that would definitely align and balance your sacral chakra. All right. So the next chakra is the solar plexus chakra. All right, this is located in the upper abdomen, above the belly button, below the rib cage. All right, it is the color is yellow, and its functions are that governs personal power, your self-esteem, willpower, and digestion. All right, so when it's balanced, you should feel confident and motivated to do things in life and be able to make decisions with clarity. All right, you should have your digestion should be on point. A blocked chakra or solar plexus chakra, those symptoms include persistent self-doubt, indecisiveness, lack of motivation. You might experience bloating, acid reflux, or like a knotty tummy, like when you get nervous or whatever, you have knots in your stomach. Fatigue, fear of failure or rejection, procrastination. You will constantly experience failure in manifestations. You will also kind of tend towards people-pleasing tendencies, and it will kind of make you controlling in your relationships and your partnerships and stuff. And so, having that unbalanced definitely would cause some issues. And so, to unbalance your solar plexus chakra, here's the card for it. All right, and so one of the things was core tapping and breath work, which you would just like lay on your back and gently tap that area where your solar plexus is, like, not hard, don't like beat yourself up or anything, while doing breath work, or just breathing in real deep, holding it for a second, and then breathing out real deep slowly. So, and then the breath of fire, which is a breath work technique that you breathe from your diaphragm. So anybody who is in choir or a singer, you know what I'm talking about. But you just take rapid, like, little hyperventilation breaths, from your diaphragm, while you're doing the core tapping. All right, and then the crystals that would be beneficial to carry to keep it in alignment would be citrine, tiger's eye, and yellow topaz. And the sound therapy pure tone would be 528 hertz and 320 hertz. All right, so I don't know if I'm going to get too far. Like I said, I'm still really learning. Sorry, that's my cup. I'm really learning a lot still about chakras. It's like I know a whole lot of it to do just like a dedicated video about it. But I just wanted to touch on these things for you guys. All right, so the next chakra is your heart chakra. All right, and the location for your heart chakra is right in the center of your chest, like where your sternum would be. All right, kind of right to your actual heart. The color associated with it is green. The function is to bridge the gap between the physical and the spiritual realms. It regulates love, compassion, and empathy. And so when it's balanced, you will be able to experience and to be able to emit unconditional love. You'll be able to experience forgiveness and understand that, and you will definitely be able to facilitate healthy relationships if your heart chakra is balanced. With a blocked heart chakra, I know a lot of people out there are running around with this. The symptoms would be like you're very distrustful of other people, emotional disconnection. You will harbor feelings of resentment and the inability to forgive, holding grudges. You will criticize yourself a lot. You have lack of self-compassion, which is like not feeling sorry for yourself, but it's kind of like not giving yourself a break, like you're real hard on yourself, so that would be self-judgment, carrying feelings of guilt, low self-worth. Physically, it'll affect you with chest discomfort, tightness. You'll have a hard time, breathing, irregular heartbeats, palpitations, and lack of empathy in relationships. That's a big one. So, anyways, and then the unblocking. I really hope y'all can read these. The unblocking of the heart chakra would be, what happened?